Another thing when it comes to being intelligent, using intellect and having knowledge all the time. So yes, when I mention Jesus, I understand Horus and Isis and Osiris. I understand all of the different birthing stories that it was adopted from. We understand Jesus is not his name. There was no J in the Hebrew language until the late 1600s. His name was Esau in Arabic. Yes, Yeshua in Hebrew, all these different things. Yes, we know about this. The whole historical narrative, along with the scientific narrative and the biblical narrative, have many different contradictions. The picture that they put up is of Caesar Borgia, a Caucasian. Yes, all of that correct. The Holy Family or the Last Supper, that entire thing was of 12 inmates from a local jail who stood in the place of the so-called 12 disciples. Those are not the 12 disciples. Those were prisoners who stood in that place because there was no model of a Last Supper that they could actually create or recreate. So they created one out of white men. All of that. Yes. Okay. It was drawn by Michelangelo. All of this. I know. My point is talking about Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and what he understood. He did not know all that we know today. So sometimes when you have a level of knowledge, you must add in to your knowledge maturity. Sometimes we can become a little drunk with knowledge and we forget feeling what it is that we're talking about. I can go into all of that. I understand that, but that is not what I'm talking about. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and what he understood is what we're talking about. And that man had a beautiful, beautiful intent. He was a beautiful man. And I'm telling you because I went to where he and Mother Coretta Scott King are buried. I've been there. I went to the home of where he was born. I went to the prison cell. That prison cell was like a 4x5. Like a 4-foot by 5-foot prison cell where Martin Luther King was locked up. It was unreal because I'm thinking this is what you do to someone who is peaceful, to a man who did his most to incorporate white society into black society and black into white and who wanted to integrate and just wanted to sit next to you and eat food with you and go to the restroom with you and go to the same school as you and go to the same cleaners as you, go to the same park as you, the same movies as you, ride in the same car as you, sit at the front of the bus with you. He loved white folks so much because he thought that was what true Jesus love meant. He really thought that. I'm helping you to understand exactly where my thought process is in understanding our leadership. Too many people learn about our leaders, but not enough study them because most of us are not involved in the life that they themselves have lived, and therefore you don't see any purpose in studying them like that. I study them because the life that they lived is the life that I live. So I have to study all of them. All of them. Don't matter, Muslim, Christian, Pan-Africanist, nationalist, it doesn't matter. I have to study all of them. From Marcus Garvey all the way down, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad all the way down, from Medgar Evers all the way down, Khalid Muhammad all the way down. I need to study them all. I have to. Because I need to know where the potholes are, where the traps could be. I need to know. And the crazy thing is, the government has not changed. It has simply evolved in its approach. They haven't changed nothing. I'm helping you to understand where I have really evolved into when it comes to understanding this government. It is the same one. It is the same one. This is why separation is the answer, meaning Martin Luther King did everything that he could do to make white people love him. The man literally had rocks thrown at him, bottles thrown at him, was spat on, had dogs sicked on him, all this just to be able to hang out with white folks. I mean, to me, that is insane as hell. I don't want to be around somebody who doesn't want me to be around them. I don't give a damn. I don't need to be around you. I'm comfortable being with black people. Right? But I had to understand his mentality back then. In the 1940s, 50s, 60s, I'm thinking, what would cause a man to think like that? Yes, the programming of Christianity. Yes, how they taught us the Bible. That absolutely. If that's a part of your foundation, you absolutely will go into that thinking of just love everyone, etc., etc. Of course, that's partially. That's number one. Number two, he was taught in college. He went to college very young. I believe he graduated at 16 from high school. I believe he graduated with his first degree at 22, master's degree at 23, 24, a doctorate degree at 26. He was a very intelligent man. He studied thoroughly. He was one of the greatest orators we have ever had. He had the gift of oratorical skill. He could speak on anything. He knew the synonyms of so many words that it baffled and shocked the hell out of white people because the majority of them, on average, did not know what he knew. Period. So he wasn't some lightweight brother. He just tolerated the system of white supremacy because he thought that that is what Jesus was demonstrating. He thought that was the example of Jesus. He thought that was the example of Gandhi. He didn't know the racism of Mahatma Gandhi. He did not know the racist side of Mahatma Gandhi and how Mahatma Gandhi, and I can't even say Mahatma because Mahatma means great soul. Mahatma Gandhi, I can't keep saying it, but Gandhi was very racist toward the darker Indians. Very. If Martin Luther King knew that, I don't think he would have placed Gandhi at such a high, on such a high pedestal. But at the same time, my point is his intention was good.